This measure reinforces ministerial oversight, ensures policy coherence, and provides additional safeguard against unauthorized or irregular allocations. Legislating public land application reforms. To ensure sustainability and prevent a reversal to past practices, government has taken steps to provide legislative backing to these reforms. The revised public land application form and the restructured internal allocation process will be incorporated into the draft land regulation, which is currently undergoing review. This is how serious government is
run away from your party. In every life situations, no matter how you look at it, there will be challenges. But young people are built to overcome challenges. Young people are built to add or bring up new ideas to make this party move forward and be attractive to other young people. So I believe in you, that in the next election, you should be the game changer for the 2028 election. So don't run away from your party. It's still the best party in Ghana.
Today, I'm pleased to report significant progress. The initiative is firmly grounded in international law. Slavery is prohibited under international law as a peremptory norm, a jus cogens principle from which no derogation is permitted. The resolution builds upon this legal foundation and rests on three pillars. First is historical accuracy. Second is legal defensibility. And third is continental and diaspora alignment. We've ensured that the text of this resolution reflects rigorous scholarship, moral clarity, and diplomatic credibility. Ghana has undertaken extensive consultations to strengthen the resolution. We've engaged with the ECOWAS, we've engaged with UNESCO, the Global Group of Experts on Reparations, the Pan-African Lawyers Union, academic institutions, the African Union Committee of Experts on Reparations, and the African Union Legal Experts Reference Group. We hosted the inaugural joint meeting of the African Union Committee of Experts on Reparations and the African Union Legal Experts Reference Group in Accra earlier this month to further refine the text of the resolution. We also began engagement with the diaspora at the Ghana Diaspora Summit held in December last year. This has been inclusive, deliberate, and consultative. Following expert consultations, the title has been refined to read Declaration, and I quote, Declaration of the Trafficking in Enslaved Africans and Racialized Chattel Enslavement of Africans as the Gravest Crime Against Humanity. Today, I'm pleased to report significant progress. The initiative is firmly grounded in international law. Slavery is prohibited under international law as a peremptory norm, a jus cogens principle from which no derogation is permitted. The resolution builds upon this legal foundation and rests on three pillars. First is historical accuracy. Second is legal defensibility. And third is continental and diaspora alignment. We've ensured that the text of this resolution reflects rigorous scholarship, moral clarity, and diplomatic credibility. Ghana has undertaken extensive consultations to strengthen the resolution. We've engaged with the ECOWAS, we've engaged with UNESCO, the Global Group of Experts on Reparations, the Pan-African Lawyers Union, academic institutions, the African Union Committee of Experts on Reparations, and the African Union Legal Experts Reference Group. We hosted the inaugural joint meeting of the African Union Committee of Experts on Reparations and the African Union Legal Experts Reference Group in Accra earlier this month to further refine the text of the resolution. We also began engagement with the diaspora at the Ghana Diaspora Summit held in December last year. This has been inclusive, deliberate, and consultative. Following expert consultations, the title has been refined to read Declaration, and I quote, Declaration of the Trafficking in Enslaved Africans and Racialized Chattel Enslavement of Africans as the Gravest Crime Against Humanity. Indeed, the issue of reparations and restitutive justice goes beyond, and that is in answer to the first question, just monetary compensation. It's about setting the historical record straight. It's about returning stolen artifacts from Africa. It's about the pillaging that took place in the period of the slave trade. Issues about quantum are still being researched, and I don't think that a lump sum of money is going to be taken and distributed to countries. We'll get to that point and we'll discuss that when the time comes. But for now, our aim is to put the resolution on the floor, let the world acknowledge that this happened and that there's been, in recent memory or in world history, no more grave injustice against humanity than the slave trade. 12 million people were transported, forcibly taken and transported across the Atlantic. The number of people who died in the mid-sea, the Middle Passage, is estimated at about 2 million people, either people who jumped off ships, they prefer to die than to go and live in slavery, or people who were too ill or were sick and were tossed overboard to be eaten by sharks and all that. And so that historical record must be set straight. And like I said, it's a whole a movement, it's a whole story. And once we table this, we will move to the next stage of it. And so it's not about quantum for now, but there are people who have done research on what the value of the human displacement was. There are people who have done that research, but our resolution has nothing to do with quantum for now. We'll cross that.
We held a crisis meeting and we took decisions. And one of the major problems is that to buy cocoa from our own farmers, we rely on funding from outside. And you know what the collateral for the funding is, our own cocoa beans. And so you have to collateralize the beans to the financier, buy the beans and just ship them, and they pay you the international market price. So one of the key decisions we've taken is that we're going to stop foreign funding for the purchase of our cocoa. We are going to raise domestic bonds. We have enough CDs in Ghana to pay for our cocoa. We're going to raise domestic bonds, buy our own cocoa. We don't need to collateralize the beans. I know the interesting part. We have the capacity to process 400,000 tons of those beans, processing capacity in Ghana. But because the beans are collateralized, we cannot even allocate those beans to the local processors. We have to ship all the beans outside. Now, if we buy the beans ourselves, we can take 400,000 tons out of the beans and give to our local processors to add value. That is what the Accra research is about. I say by 2030, there are not going to be any raw mineral ores leaving Ghana. You're not going to ship manganese ores out of Ghana raw. You're not going to ship bauxite ore out of Ghana raw. You're not going to ship iron ore out of Ghana raw. You must process all that local issues. And I'll just give one example from Ghana. Just before I left, we have a crisis in our cocoa sector. We set a producer price for the farmer. At the time we set the price of cocoa on the international market was 7,200. We have a policy in Ghana where we give the farmer 70% of the world market price. The other 30% is used for administration, to supply fertilizers to the farmers, to provide scholarships for their children and all that kind of thing. The CD's value was 11.5 CDs to $1. After we set the producer price, the world market price has declined to 4,200. The CD has appreciated in value to 10.7 to the dollar. And so suddenly it means that for every ton you buy at the producer price, you have a gap. And so we'll be losing. There are issues, and I'll just give one example from Ghana. Just before I left, we have a crisis in our cocoa sector. Gender equality makes economic sense. Investments in women raise productivity. They strengthen our resilience and they expand our economic growth. Every woman entrepreneur creates jobs. Every girl educated multiplies prosperity. And every barrier removed unleashes innovation. So the reality before us is simple. Africa cannot afford to leave more than half of its population behind, not if we're serious about building the Africa we want. Excellencies, our resolve is anchored in strong continental instruments that must move decisively from paper to implementation. The solemn declaration on gender equality in Africa remains our foundational political compact. The Maputo Protocol, one of the world's most progressive
about this year, Memunina Joba Kessben television so and a brother February or your former Smith so a dun song, a film pimino ne eduno in Siemo. Tuesday, 7th day of February 2026. Yetase na otwe ebreso kosi ya. Na Adwenkyere dwumadi ene de pro e wo Kessben television so. Obeya multi TV decoder na so. Ye wo DSTV channel 364, Go TV channel 121, Facebook live ubo Kessben TV na Kessben FM so a bebi a obi a so betimi edi echi na nkomo ya de nso ababeka ho. Me de Kofi Appiah mala me ya na ebo echi dom free sabre kopim se ye be soro dwumadi eso. Na ene ye won sem hodo ya ye bi di eho enkomo. Ebi fa Ghana men adehia omkofa tomatoes e de free Burkina Faso memo. Arosem asi na otwe wiye ma makoto akwamukafo ne tutrafo a ewo Burkina Faso memu esemu a wabo bituo ekum wo mo enya ne tie se nipa nson na omukum wo mo ena nwumre asoye hwe amanwensem so asoye amano ne nsem so aba mane se nipa no ba ko wu aka ho ama se omakoye enipa enwotwe ede na ekoso abai ede atodwa se de akoduro no Ghana memu adehye ewo Burkina Faso ho no ewo se ba bia Sabre basausa ene koso no yi omfiri aso e hama na nsem so Ministry of Foreign Affairs enso dia betu dwa se de ebo Ghana fo kokotiti adwadifo no ya amokofa Burkina ho na amokọ Burkina ho kofa ntus monso omtwam kofa jene ene ade ni nyina no se de kwan no esonyo se obe wadwe se wedwadini se na hwe wo TV so no ka ya omode kwa kofa ntus no ene bra mumiofo ehia wo mo no womo ebo nipa no tuo na omde ja to car no mu a womo hye no nti nipa no a womo awuo no they were bent beyond recognition ya hye womo ama se na womo aye no hu amu no a sabe ye de bra okra na untumi gise koye forensic test ansa ne hu se asomasi nie obentini eno nti Ghana aban ene Burkina Faso mpanifo edi nkomo no de kowie nse na wo se enura anopa nundu no omusie enipa yi ewo Burkina ho eno nti Ghana memu mpanifo antimi anko eno nti madwadifo no de Nyankopon ebo omo ban a enkrofo yi anye omo ebone nti ma no ene ka se omo nkohwe na yensie nipa na mfoni video bibia ometimi atwa no omo ntwa na omo emfamra nwumere ya ene nya ntie se okra ba akonso asa ato ede akan wase sei omo akoye enipa nwoche eno nti aban issue travel warning se sibia we dwadini na okọ Burkina so okọ fantus anasa yene ede aba se de asomdwe ni ho eno nti onkwa ho hia eche bibia timi so ja ekro na benya bre na ye de ho nkomo se Ghana men de ene ye ede afade ho ma dwadifo na so mosre Ghana ban se aba momode na nka irrigation farming kuadwuma ye nan nyankunsuo boroboro ba de Ghana ye kuadwuma nyina ye da nyankunsuo enti Nyankopon antosuo pe no ewiemu ye hikakra bi a na vegetables no bae na bosome miensa ntos meko nkruma sa niema no awudua bosome miensa na so no opani sikakra bi na eho ayeden ya doa no nyina aka ho na so se ye irrigation farming say ye wo asase bede ene wo subonte akase ye wo Ghana ha ene ye irrigation projects na nka yedi nsu agu so a udua ntos udua nyadoa udua meko udua nkruma we be bosome miensa na abo na wote we yentimi nya ne Ghana ha ema ya adehye ebri wo mogani ede wo monkwa eto chacha efri Ghana ha kosrim se omokofa eneme ede aba ene na akofa se mi aba se nipa nwotwe omonyina ahro nkwa ma na o mangu no kra bia prepra na se mehwe ade kra oyo ba na sa asemusi we no wangu kra no a ahwe bibi beto so kwan ombefa so a ede ombeba fie ni nyina ho nsem enso ewo ho na yebekwa akohwe no aka ho asem wi a na ewusa ye ho se ede na Ghana yeye na enede ya osofa be de kira ohwe ku adwuma ene aduanesem so onyamfo John Dumelo ode atodwa se hwe be free sabre yankoka fie die ni mo wi de na Ghana tomatoes dodo aye hia ro ye memu no ye ni abetimi adua ya yenkofa entosi nso nye de emma so yebetimi aye ne sa na aka nsemi bebre semi pempi yetimi ka so ye yenhye se mo kai se ba made in Ghana rice se ba osi eguso a ye dua ebe kakra Ghana ye nkra mo kra bio ene kwabonte ko se made in Ghana mo no benya bia unya bi kra nso a untumi nto ebi se emo na ye kraba no ayefo chen de ekuafo no dua no Ghana ha they go to local rice na 5 kilos no eno no boarding de amanfo akraba no efo nti Ghana for the dua mo gudem yenya obi emanento ebi se de ye kraba no ya bie kwan mu se obi antimi nkra de ope emra dollar no ba fom no insuanso ba ko don melo kire se afiwe ye nkwa we ensi afufuro mu de na Ghana ento sisem de nyame aboa ye nkra mu ye betimi aye ana so se den because oba man mu a ase omom ye kua no wa unya asase bi ano aye kakra but amani omani abreku adwuma ho pa no wo mo eye mechanized farming e ka se mechanized farming ku adwuma enye sika ne aso e na ade koyo asase yantam na de tractor plow na wo plow so funtum asase no bibia fidie na wo de ye so wo ye ne sa nipa ba ko ebetimi ato asase bia be 50,000 hectares na wadua bro wadua mo wadua ntosi no bebre ede na Ghana ba ye sebe ya de asie ebi ensi omayemu ebiemu ebedi eno ho nkomo na cocoa sem no so sawate se Ghana cocoa board aba se cocoa board management members mpenifu ede dwuma na no obi aketua ye te so ho bo pan adu no 20% afi senior staff omo so ma ye dwuma cocoa board ho a che abe mpenifu no onso obi aketua ye te so ma pan 10% omo kire sa ho kire na aba no de na Ghana fo ka se mo mpenifu a mo te so ho no randi abe doctor ono nkrofo de modidi amen maketua mo te so ye kokuakuafo ye de kakra de man na ba te so a won so ye de cocoa board so matie omo ate o maketua so wojiri se eyade a ebetimi ni sakra bi aba aketua no mate so no how much are they saving cocoa board for betima me hu se ye mpanifo a ye se ye te obi aketua so bi de 10% 20% no ye quantify and ekeka bomu a bosumi bia no amount sei na ye de ato ho anase ye nya free mu na nkwa afa na wie ni enya sei omo de san kontan ba be kire a na mampani mama se on cocoa no obi o 50 acres e ho nti e ba ye nti so ba ye ono so bi aka no nti nyese bi a kokuakuafo ho nhia no e wo Ghana memu enti na ono so yi nani e fa asase mi ho nti benya bre na we nyina nso ye di ho enkomo fo adwenkyere ebra 0551 599 933 WhatsApp 0551 599 933 bitim ya fa WhatsApp so ana normal text message ba ne ensaka e bitim nso age na akenkan enso e de amawo afi na day new patriotic party osrukuku amanyokro MPP omo nso de omo timetable ya omo de behwe abato so ewo ayi omo mpanifo afi aba malam so aye kradwa maye hwe party mpanifo e de aba sefri sabria nkodu September ebobosumi mu de na omo mpanifo a free polling station electoral area constituency regional national executive no mayi omina se na wo hwe no TV so say MPP reorganization did kind of say a free match or Benembos Midi kind or candidate a chato first match up to 31st match no a membership will be a person by MPP Nibiano Kofa party krata ko anakone party membership card na otio dues no so be a member in good standing and over could see 31st match na obi a person register by MPP Nibiano or my membership registration no awie omuwie a every 1st April ekoka 14th April and also na otwemienu ofurusu obosome de dikan e candidate toso edunan so no and also omo be verification say enipa no ayatwe omudin nyina no yetimi asese awusampa bibia obia de abankratem kama omuwie eno a 10th May up to 16th May and also by polling station election. Observe all the na asem no no. E ho na asem no no. Polling station election no e ho because obi obe predi bia wo party no mu bia no. Onim se polling station fu ebeyi wo mo no. Se omo ye onkrofo a ugina obewini. Itone bi kai se in the run up to 2024 election no. Every before polling station election be o ye to na naju no mi no. Bebu omkodru ono ana de obe ha abato no so say be yi nipa yato awie enti say me bresi enti polling station election 10th to 16th May na omawie a electoral area coordinators 10th to 15th June and also on be sa abato no we are na ba constituency executive, constituency chairman, the first vice, second vice, third vice, organizer, youth organizer, women organizer, treasurer, no more kahono. And also about 11th to 12th July. Na omo ede constituency executive ni nyina all the 276 constituencies no omo the 2 days ebeto ni nyina awie omo wie a na ba regional election, regional executive, and also 8th to 9th August, and also nanu sa na region bia omo regional chairman, first vice, second vice, third vice, secretary ndi ka ho nyina awie na omo wie a na afi every 20th June to 19th July, and so omwakwa koyi external branches. Just say MPP kuma omo UK, America, Canada, omo nyina so be yom penifo. Na Sarah so ena omo HSA free August 15, koka July 15, koka 9th August so, and also so no ombe branch in penifo and so me na aba last one so manen kostrumame. Na September bobo sumi no no afi na ombe the national executive, national chairman, first vice, second vice, third vice, general secretary, national organizer, youth organizer, women organizer. This is the timetable. Eshaya MPP amanyoko no aye for internal elections or my flag bearership na wie afi o masa kwasa safe reform ho a omo ede eba kopim se September no de na party no eyi ne mpanifo nyina wie this year inti free September na ekono na afi nto bia ya ompeso omo bono omo ahye ho dwumadi enso ase they said the MPP for so omo so timetable ete enano right afi yensase na yen free Burkina Faso ensensemi eho malam yehwe map no na obi a wo hwe bia no hunu akwantu a Ghana memo adwadifo omo free Ghana ha na kokofa tools in ba just look at the map Ghana map ena wo no Burkina Faso meso ode mane said it here na mane good Burkina Faso ya pampem Cote d'Ivoire ne Togo we chen Burkina Faso ne soro no ho ena Niger enso ewo na wo hwe Ghana fo a omo kofa tools na ebifi nkran makola Kaneshi job ni ade ebi firi Kofodu ebi firi Kumasi Bantama race course omu nyina akọ na watu kwanye firi Ghana ha kudu boko paga na hamile na wawuram se wawuram a hwe krono a asem ni si woso na wosoro no ye fra wo titao ne yekura eda Burkina Faso ene Niger hye so e wosoro ho pa edi ma na so omuwura Burkina na Burkina ano he ya wakofa ntosi no. You travel through Burkina Faso to the north. Ebi aka eseka ofiri Ghana eko boko. Wakodu Burkina no, wase wuramu akodu titao esoro ho. Wagadugu ena wo Burkina mfimfi. Titao no soro ho pa no. Ena Ghana for mei eko. Na entia ye nya kire se efiri se Captain Adam Atware bae no no so asi tomato factory ewo Burkina Faso ho a ise o makwan sentos ni bebre no Ghana fo mefa na mkodi ono so process enti adwadifo no afa unapproved routes kwan a ofa so bi a ebehia beka se da bi ye mamo nkofa nto ba kofa kra ebeje eti sa ba bi o mkofa ye na o mkotita ho akopentos ni bi aba no ho no mkoto sa terrorists etutuafo ye esemu a wadane etugu won so na woku omo a odija tu mu na ohye wo mo a nipa nso ne enya ne ntie se ba ko nso afiri mu account aban issue travel warning se de sa kwantu ne hu obi a hwe ne hu ye ase bisade se edi enti na Burkina Faso ya oti desert so no wono timi duantus ma eburo so na yen Ghana yete asase bede so no yen ntimi nua yentosi yen ntimi nua yejene ise dwadifo twa kwa tintin wei eno makofa ntos ene jene edi abreya akofa esan wei edi abreya mampani akyekyere busuane re deputy minister so kyerɛ sɛ ifri sa abreya kɔnasi ano Ghana ntosi hi betima nya no mem adwadifo ma na asem mo kan sɛ senka ntosi kanen yesusu ano ye frɛ no Bolgan tos so se ntosi ho ayɛ den wɔ ase akoma dan ne ade de ne ma adwadifo no kɔsirem sɛ Bolgan tos Bolgan tos ba na ho denden de se de omko free Burkina and e Bolgan tos ni bi mabio so Bolgan ho no ensuo ento ho kese ye ni irrigation dam kese bia nso ho a ye kotwe nsu omu na de apete esubonten so. MPP came out of a brilliant idea. One village, one dam. Seke krabia ase no yenye dam itwa sutade ho a kuafo benya nsu asa na omo de egu no ba yenyina so. Omo twetwa amana no eto ho. But enso ntimi nyinam afimu no nyina. Nti edu pebra na dam no dodo na awe. Eno nti amana no omtwetwa aye no. Nti me amakuafo no nsu seka omtimi ye sa de no a kan asem ye aye kan ye nka. If say atosode no vegetables no wo say nsu ogu so a bosom mienu ne fa no na asase na eso. The leaders of our various political parties, MPP and NDC, are they failing us? What can be done about this issue? Say yentimi nye spacecraft eko wiem. Yentimi nye aeroplane. Na yentimi nye mfidi akese a. Entosi ya irrigation. Na ya sensuo de gu asase so na aso amaye no. Eno si yentimi nye. Ya obi betwa sa akwan friga na ewuram wagadugu akotitao so kofantos abre amasemo yi abeto ya na ebenya abre na ye di hon komo mpanifo a ye no di ma na nyure doctor ye no e champon or a lecturer e come University Science and Technology or Science MPP ni amapa or Hussein Ibrahim so your spokesperson for the Ashanti Regional Minister on the ticket of the NDC you know na ye no mo edi nkomo yi doc akwaba Afisia paso. Nimso ho ye pa.
Christ ntimi ye de she.
Because I feel the binyane unshi ai.
Me ko kakra hibernation kakra.
Anako sabbatical.
Ni nyina kan. Baby ana adwuma no ntino no. Shadows na ye tight. The baby unya twabre.
Okay.
But nyame adom say dem are free.
All right.
Officer hoye.
Nyame adom hoye pa.
Me asi.
Talk you fa de si e wo Burkina Faso over the weekend yi. Nipa nso ku ye na yate se ba ko ewu aka ho. Aban issue travel warning. Say adwadifo mo kɔ saa kwantu so no obia ehwe ne ho eyi. O kan say in light of the fact say Ghana ye yasase yanke ye wo no eye chen Burkina Faso for de. Nanso consistently yatawa ye ha se de bia omonko fantu simbra enso ni me se etutra for terrorists o Burkina ho omunya traga na hye a utumi mboni pa no ho ba menye yie the SEO can say
of amenda say mefa konye so na machia ahefo ni etiefo kankane me NPP amanyoku na yakai o se de usikan ye na se nyame adoma from 1st to 31st from 1st to 31st of this next month party best start a registration of members into obi anko baby or to aba na onko register na onya ne party card cause ana na betimi aboa na say bia ye polling station executive election adena o pesa odo homa otimi a contest bi of asem we are hosem na me de north metako metako pa anyi bibia bia twice a year de meko na se wo travel na udru Bono East kra no kra ye Ghana ha no udru Bono East nhwemu no free Techiman kwa na fa Kintampo kwa kosi yape voter black voters or white voter na no a obetimi akwa bia be 45 to 50 minutes wana na unshi aka bia obetimi akosana udru northern savannah udru sese na savannah ekwa kosi fufu so la road na ofa ehonso unshi aka bia o daytime kra unshi aka bia intime emana enya akukudru etimi kon omo wa akukudru papa because yenia Ghana ha ya kra na unya nrubi ma so no sa wo kon of east na regua obetimi akosa bia 2-3 hours no shia cars be 2 pe intiso mbetimi anya akukudru etimi afa foma kwa akosi Burkina ewrum na odru Burkina no kra anya ho ahwe ba bia atetawo ne won e yare hosem na se oman nyina yetena na reflect here no hu say as on mine we are not doing something right because your sas is so fertile over here o de banji dua o de to ba bia na de hia ne se obenya contact with the sun na photosynthesis are taking place e betimi afifia ma banji ne da ha na abo usidan na se edan no anwea na ensuo gugu so o ba bia na eho no ye okakabo nse dua afifi o ho no ya sase ye so fertile say ba bia odi dua bi besi bi ebe yi ni ehia ye nsuo since Kessben time ye depending on natural rainfall pattern and ye ye bibia na ade ba ko a eya na eha adwene ene se ye twen ase nsuo beto ye ntimi mpo en harvest rainwater ni bi ni akase se pesi a ye be utilize e bi ni ho sa ade a chen ade asen ofa NPP NDC NPP sa na ade a chen afina kwa wie sa na nke ba ne sei ena Burkina Faso a ye near desert o omo no dam ga na omu bia na asa betwa afa yen yeso no ena omo harvest nsuo na omo de aye omo de ye omo irrigation ne farming ni nyina na yen Ghana ha ye wopo nsuo atwa ye ho ahia nsuo to almost all year round say crowd offer ye dry season kra yintimi hu ba bi e wo ne a predict ni ye still ye took a call Burkina se kofa je ye ko nije je de crowd om ko nije ene Mali ne kofa je ni ba na Burkina ene ema ye tomatoes of a yare hosem almost say 70 years as a country say ye enipa anki akọ pension be 9 years kuretwem as still na yentimi ntena ase as oman entimi nyen hyehyeye aye betimi akase yensa ase he of ase utu kwan me se north asase ne da wonsa north asase no crown say flat unhu bepo edamu straight curve nim yentimi ntena ase as oman enye hyehyeye aye betimi adua enuane ebeso ya nkasa yeso na kaye den na ono Burkina ne nioma nyina o hye pokra agise Ghana no beyi na odi akọ ono mmom timi develop technology enya irrigation system strong one etimi dua nto saama ni busuma yenye kofa biba udru aya nkenga esu ni akoma dana ofa yesusu ano eho na ne enim se Ghana hakra yedua nto osi bebrebe nto osi ba ubedru etu abodom kwan so bonse nto osi na pro na egu kwan ye ntimi sisi silos kra na akase ye preserve be for future menim as omayan kasa menim over sometimes na me ya na ni nyina I blame it on politicians because we are abey odi ogbon said discussion be duru baby on other platforms na adani NPP na adani NDC NPP NDC hwete sam enti edie pa na esi ye ho kwan say as oman na uko universities nso a ye wo all the professionals wo ho but abina nkasa day in day out is not committed say obey engage experienced researchers no mama omo technical advice ni omo de omo service ni na aboa se ne beya yensase e we no fa hwe ensuo Ghana hanfa na obekọ ensuo ni ba ya yenhwe han emanipa kakra bi mfa so a omo penti ofa se ye de galamse ase yensase ni yensuo nyina ye de galamse ase yensase ni yensuo nyina enti ene asase no kura wudua bibia enyi eduru galamse fight ana adani NPP NDC blame game ni atena ho saame ensase nyina say nanka mi kope bibia bedi e might me anya akukudu atu kwan no akohia nkwanhia wodi ente say you see me medwene ho a ɔfa menjase enti empanimfo a abakɔ nyina obia ntimi ntena se nka se wei any direction ayeko na problem ni nyina so free 1992 constitution ye ni national development plan bia a mandate government bi se oba this is the direction also do on mine ko enti sa aban bi ba no be start bibia for political expediency change of government ba sa ne o mani nyina ye beto atwene ni asan akofa bibi fofraba basenke yeye enanka ye 1992 constitution ofa mana beye mandatory any was state development policy say we national development agenda ni obawo wa mau this is the direction ayeko enkanye ni mpempenzo ayedri but say no oman ye running on political manifesto inti manifesto aban bi be keka edia ewini power no woba eno no peso se beboa oman no se moa oman no eno an oban implement inti that has been our problem se oman ya nyame ahira yen Ghana de na yeni ofa Ghana ha edie pa na yeni bibia natural resource bia o de amayen yet yentimi ntena se nyen hyehyeye ayi betimi harness sa ne omani nyina na nke no ane sei na amen se Burkina Faso awo no esere nko a etimi aye irrigation ama sese ne farmers no etimi duanto sa mani busu na Ghana, and we are proud as a country to talk about these things. Ofa me teen news ya na me raho and I ha me say oman ya yenyini aduru sa abre na nyame ahira yen nenso yentimi nya clear political direction and policies na yemfa ye nan yinsi from say we na ye na we na beboa oman no ama se ofasisi he yesusu ano sa na wonim oboase ankawo oboase ankawo obia wonim bia nim se Ghana ha ye ka ba bia na anka edepa na nka ye oboase ene ya yenhwe han ama galamse fu asase ni nyina ama sese ofa oboase ko ha anka akra ni hobiu papa ba ko mempese mebo ne din oye businessman oye MPP ni na menene hia ye din komo o produce sa fruit juice ni bi ofa areho se munim so ko Benin na kokra anka o oko Benin no akokra anka edia be
fruit juice
edia be feeding ni factory ni wo Ghana ha unim adekudie ntia o se asase no Ghana yen saase ni nyina se aye acidic most areas na anka etimi efeta etimi duanka no ni nyina aye acidic nti se wunya saa anka na untimi mfa nye fruit juice no nti anka ni nyina yintimi nye na because of galamsey ni omani ade nti na ma se uduanka na kra yield de o se wunya quantity o se wunya na de obenya no so asaya acidic nti etigana ha na nipa ko Benin akokra anka e de abeye fruit juice amaye se ye no ye koya na ye buy over
okay
so man enti memo de ade asie no abusua ato wo mo no ene ye be mo mo yakọ ni amo mo shedding because obi ani ho obekra fie se okwa kope bibi ene ne mma ene ne busua bedi na yawe beto no na enya wo ya memo de ye me ya na ha me se ye ma me nom ne drivers no crowd drivers no no so wo se wokofa passengers di aba na hwe ne akosie nti memo de ha me na o man is a wake up call
that's it doc me ko ba ye ba behwe what can be done e de na betimi aye enso e de support sa adewe o say akwaba
ofa bejoso what you
ambom say
Tachamada Bojamna Mujarudia Fusani, Namado Mahonde. We dear Mechia, na Machia, production team, you know. Mechia, a Ashafo, our Majibre, our Moshe, a Kessben TV, I can bring so. We dear me free, a RCC regional minister, so a neighbor, regional minister, a day and check a see, a de ma Asantima, you know. Na Wabuma Basso for cooperation, na mu copy with him, send a bear Asantima, in Puntu and Koso, a chefa de Baba. You been now Asantima Muhanim say. That was and then the vice president of the land, a Professor Jenna na Upokwajiman, or Tom Safre, a Dr. Frank Amwako, in fact, Ira Kenzuba can be no Mukodru Hona, who be so almost a sentiment Muhanim say no. A dear any day and a coso and this mobile, you know, say, oh, you buy, you know, security wise, no, so no, now will be some specifics, and near me see what sentiment more, check a cra, a bonko food to Niama, and now all the reports need to be the my say, is the idea, and Niama a stabilize a cra, in Timami Professor Genano Pokwajima, a board Dr. Frank Amwako, and Abasu for Jumadi Sunkaye, send be a security, a sentiment one is to be a bear kama, no business and in Puntway, because Antimandi in Puntu na Epe. You wrote to also say sentiment. Here say a year in Punto Becosuna Yaresa hospitals see any Sunday man or Ebecosu, dear mammy Benya, because they say the dread didn't try a fruma. And no church much say, and there Oba a year quine crana. Santas Udru a year 100 about Muguso Moya quine, Santas run about Moya quine, a quire, Beca run about to farm more Pamoye, in Tema Professor General Poquajiman and GE, and a crew from market, no say my men so dear, Ocono office while Bibia. On one casadia, Tona Kuma so ye de bois man, markets, ne dear, Asantimai, more expecting more markets, and a 24-hour economy markets. I per se a dear then, ye de Benin, 19 Punto in Yama cost was a sentiment more light, I fixe, and in Yama, young boy, a businessman or more sentiment more him says so. You go so a yen and kakra, mint gas be okay, but a and kakra. However, Merahui. Rahuye Edikan Ebusianfo a omahwere eye omadofo nyina no ye ma omo yakọ. In fact ebetimi aye minu aba ebetimi aye unu aba because minu aba oton ade ojomo ono so ton toast na eyi abi na okofabu akoma dan ne ho ne ma senne nim toast a oton asa na so kaso okobokina akwa kofa toast a bibisa ebetimi aye den ato no. You see, I like the way Dr. situate conversation we know. As a quite nationalistic, instead of being partisan and answer politics are remove. I keep on saying it's about time Ghana for ye Daira John Dramani Mahama say. Because we share a Niema dog Kenya, a Niema SC under MPP NDC. By ne yenya JDM number 2. As I've been previous, I know there or ye different from MPP NDC and name previously no. JDM number 2 ni say oba and Kobe be a friend operation or say the Feed Ghana initiative. In fact, Feed Ghana initiative here be mo na a year o share equiafo or mobile Mohammadin Edwin no banani bia ye be feed Ghana for na ye be my local companies and I say industries no muso processing any finished or semi-finished goods need be a common on it. O share a year tomatoes yes me recently I me betena hanim say na me no ye discussion be a year Santi Achem agogo a year MP wo honom o ma don to santos ya buso no munya tofo na mu o kam say aban embe boa no ayira mahama si da bi oba fast stock monko na monko to fanko secondary school sunko boa mo. That means say you fertile lands you betimi de aduaduasa no iwe nyina but di intra because one enya attractive e de mababunu no because for instance we babunu not akwa don toes na ndem toes time atso na watin toes na wonya tofo na sentoes ya pra next time no kura no so bi kan toes asem kura na wonya wadwon skra so bekwa akwa eden obekwa kodua toes ni bi na ye ka we nyina no wo hwe NDC aban and then me read bibi from Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana or many other parties report to be on what they buy or much say every year ye import tomato paste, any tomatoes. Almost 750,000 million cedis in the imported 50,000 in the imported tomatoes. Was it 750 million? 750 million in the use of the imported when you adeba. They be a so balance of payment deficit. Balance of payment deficit. Then I was here. Young Casansus develop appetite. Ebe maye a consume some of the made in Ghana product in Biomuye. Unim sana me research be me be a friend GB Foods Ghana factory. Minim so what omonka. Eso mu process eye ntos ni bi gino ni pomo. Omo otema. Om process bi. Eye ohwe Wedi Africa tomato processing omo ye bi leaf found tomato processing factory omo ye bi. But maybe they me say so mu ye bi kura na entos production is a production and north one. Obesi dey be their feed local industries we. Am producer meet demand. And I'm just encouraging Ghana for say muma ye nyina me tamana misa. Efinchire. Me ma me no duan tomatoes ho no toast ho. Tonya ya Hussein kwana kwati toast me no fabra na me fan enye aduane. By na ye hu sa ne ma ni nyina. E na by we kura ponso asa aka kire asori for cooperatives no. And I say so ankrankra so ya sorry so ye muslimi for mo wasase a aban so beboa mo. Enti e ba ye e kan ye hye ho ye pese e de boa mo na omu nyina so timi dua nubna ne bi nubaye ne bi se ne be betimi dia feedi eye Ghana won for nkasa ye ho because your president here John Dramani Mahama onu anka so ye farmer so we and no make o ma statement bi o ka say onu no ne racial flow ba be ye kura no na point ya wo afuo die e bia na o kura no ho akoye ho so that should tell you say e ban farming na you Mahama on fa farming nya de endi agro onu anka no onim the way a farming city or Ghana hanim say enti mesre me nuanom eye Ghana fo me papa nem me nananom say moma ye nyina no yemfa ye hu hyemu bi na ye ndua eye entos nkakra menim say ban asante atum of the AC ya ban ankasa hu say omatete omunya tofo no ankasa ma bafa stock beto yi say mutimi dua entos na because they say eye doctor no oka no I akoma dan say na me miso ane de bia mete a you go find those akoma dan and na kura no mentan te sa asem ni bi o adentra enti yesre minim sa ban so de say yewura deputy agric minister abe kasa mu de yewura Mahama as a listening president and as a listening government ne de ye de osebeye oyo ni aboa na wo hwe ye maame num me makọ Burkina dawo prior to 2024 elections me ko Burkina na in fact me drew honum no me fan na for be 3-4 bi e wo honum and am sure gi omo number nti me be around be 6 mo na me ba ko bi kasa no say ehu enye easy in fact even Burkina for no kura na omo trako honum no kura na ya no musuro omo wo ho no omo ko esoro ho no kura na ya musuro o say ya musuro enti ono te say Ghana for and I say ni say aye omo no in fact o say Burkina for ni bi kura na say musuro so meko ho omo ntanko no for musuro because of sa terrorists there omo nyina gada ho no ma udifo omo de omo ho omo se omo de omo hia wa eja wo se ye den ye wiewiu e wa asase so abra wundi boni bia no omo wiewiu no ntino enti mesre Ghana ye maame ne mo a omo wo eye kejetia ye maame ne mo omo wo eye PZ me say PZ race course a omo ton toes ni nyina ne say mesre omo te say aban directives bi aba say wo pese utu kwan e ko baby te say e ho and I say any other place be okwa toast and okwa bibia na wa hwa de asi ntino make sure say obe reach out to the embassy no hwe the way and embassy ko before answer no take any steps but so want me reach out to the embassy now the foreign affairs minister era okujeto ablakwa oso mo de hihye egu akwam se na bi o metimi aboama dwadie a ekoso ewo aman manso because eja ye nyina no ye ben eni kwan say bibi kofa ntawantawa deba and ye bompa so say ye Burkina Faso so president no so no he will cope with us say ne be ya ebeboa na dwadie trader ye nyina ye di say ebeboa ye nyina no ebekoso ye and it was rather unfortunate very unfortunate incident eja minim say aban na wo say yewra John Dramani Mahama aban awa bayi odi ne mabegu akwamu na ye maame nom ne papa nom a omko ha we mu nyina no we o me kope bia bedi o me kope bia bedi me ne mabusua and there one ma in fact abufu sem kra sa wo m kra ne say nipa no call ye no oba kra de ohun ne body ne kra so onu ni kra na enkanya boni wofa wo ku nipa na wi a na wasa hye nipa no ofa boni ben na nipa ne de ayewo wo ku na we no wasa hye no enti yesre me ma me ne msoso no montwen kakra minim sa ban ne nemegu akwa mu se na be boa ye nyina ensoso
right but as you say na ye koye ni mo doc ye hwe ni say so we koye de Ghana National Tomato Producers Federation on we mo kire say the whole Africa Ghana pa na e consume fresh tomatoes.
Yes.
On say tin tomatoes ni de ebu ko dwumu a ye wo tin tomatoes ni ye wo can be a utwa no a fresh tomatoes ni etwitwa.
Yes.
Etwitwa nkete and ye entos yankasa ina etwitwa gum. Ene wo de omode esam ne niema afry ta omode fiber afry friend tin tomatoes see most of them na fiber ene wo mu. But Ghana for ye pentos na fresh na Africa you need different tomatoes chew maybe meaning that so the tin tomatoes ni say kra wo ye ne nkwan a opeso onya fresh tomatoes wo ye ne stew wo ye ne salad wo hia fresh tomatoes. Pualugu multi-purpose dam ade a ubusa nimdifo bi o se eno the game changer dam bi ayeye a dedi kan no dam no ya tese ebetimi ya bo solar panels esiso ama agenity amount of electricity bi a eso ani de tosumi no irrigation ebema ye nyansuo na ye the irrigation project a akuafo ewo ba bi a dam yi nke wo volta na etne free Burkina eba no ombet manya nsuo ayekua afimu no nyina de etosomi ensa ene se Bagri dam na Burkina fo bia ne nsuo yiri afasirim no nyina no se constructed Pualugu multi-purpose dam na dam no be harvest nsuo ni nyina ama nsuo nyini fa obia NDC MPP we ba no abeka ho asem na okọ doc da be pa ni benya kodro ni IFC say here $1 billion to construct this Pualugu multi-purpose dam ka esirim fo betime duan to si na yen ko Burkina bio politicians we are serious of Ghana
of a matter of commitment me say where there is the will there is a will. It is 69 years down the line as a country. Intimi enye sadie na obviously is a failure. That is Angla me person me fan. Because sa Pualugu dam no it has been in existence for so many years and of ameboa. But yintimi nya Obia wetimi den na yesi form said this is the direction meko and this is what I want to do. Inti edeni because as on mine if you say the nyoma AC corner enkosi da ben ye be depend on other countries. The enona made in kan about the 1992 constitution na yeni ye national development plan ne sa ne ma ni na na yen codify ewum into bi aba a political manifesto government into the meka se meye no eno na meye basenka me se de midin kan senka ye wo sa policy ne da ho on ena ye entrenched ena wo se wo ba wo follow a enkanya ni se baby aya bedre say Hussein start here no on baby was had the coffee fire see issue ba nye bibia na was when you do that you are inviting me see but I have intentionally decided say on this issue on offer men call on any political line because if you say President Mahama na wabano or ye different now or ye unique or offer. You see, who said you are inviting me to respond, but I want to resist this temptation because President Mahama nkasa kujine kuyafu kuku ma kachire over so that video no kachire mse obey irrigation wo was it obey irrigation go farm ne ade ama mo no masensuo e de agu om kokos of as was ade enye sa president Mahama ya na abrantie kan wase we hwe you see honorable Katie Amon, trade minister, or the bill called parliament. When we had hung parliament, say the two how a size should come together. Nankayam banning importation of certain specific food that ye importable mining. And this is for then in opposition stood against that bill because it was 137. But you are you see, Mr. let us tackle the issue as a national problem. Don't invite me to come into the arena of politics. Because of ye wo asudie as on mine. Of us one, ye wo asudie as on mine. I was because say ye palugu dam yes factories are. Emebune ni adwuma ye ni benya adwuma ye enka ye ma menom nya ne se nkomo tupan ko boki na akofa oye ni yabe enti mumma ye nyina isi yenhwe the problem ankasa I wo ho ne say we don't have national development plan enti obi aba wo ye ne awope NPP started BB one district one factory. Nice idea. They could not roll out all these factories in all the districts. Mubaye through the Minister of Trade and Industry. Instead of you to, even if it was not a good idea, you should improve it for the benefit of the country. But through your Minister of Trade and Industry, Moses our policy ni mwetwem. These are some of the things as on my internet make us a political manifesto a memo na yebu no Ghana. Because
also Palugu Dam moka assemble but 8 years.
Yes. On my intimianye. And I make us you see enye bi entina make no say obetimi aka but untimi but obi ba obetimi bi foforo obana behu say ya to aso. Because here Kenya is all about industrialization. Basenka starter abinder than a tremble start here. And uncle the support new ya and can say ye can't ask him we. Media me how you na say a dear nas on mine offer. Yen na ye bit me aye. Not some of these most because here a year ni wo say on mine ye wo universities war almost all the regions. Yeah, research, but we don't have the commitment to roll out all these policies and programs because mebunu bebre nya adwuma nye ya sase is so fertile na all cancer mebunu no farming enye attractive ana mebwa but wo tu omo for say obi amfa ne hunhye
no kane no na mebunu ne yentosi pa ana onkai a time bi ba Ghana ha from the 80s, 90s, by early 2000. Na Ghana for me bunu yentosi pa because it was no dia 3 months. Edi be 2 months na onye ho kase bi no a pass as foforo. Eti year no otimi yentosi be 3 4. Da bi eskaba de nsem. Ene galamse no enso ni nyina ase. Asase no de ko yentosi ne wey. Edi ka dia ka de say the ye can northern party big large tract of land in Nuyakure ni so no. Kebe that irrigation farm akese no and also politicians who need the well amoba
and no masem na yeken ma wanimre 88 me I have mem na ho na papa ye koko in 1988 na ye wo ho na me brothers in penimfo no na omo ye saa adwuma ni omo donti omo signboard me papa fie ne bo ho ma wanimre 88 o kan ye na makai ma wanimre 88 Baze say ni nyina atwam who say ni tia say maburu no nko farm mu ti wo wa nya bi encourage them adena wanka adena wonya bi no fa wo here example
me dofo you don't know so me see wunni kwa nyinam so kwa obi a otembe wa nyinam so bi anim you don't know
I don't
festival me
enti the issue no ye nyina ye face as o man offer problem no there ya blame ye ho ama ye ntimi nya solution because where ensase e say nyina hwe galamse ensase e say akoye political game blame game we di nam ha na we di nam ha ya ye nhwe han ma ye ensase nyina ese se yensuo nyina ese and they say offer se wo ka se wo ye irrigation no kura nsuo no kofa no
no say your voter no de da so da ho and say
but enye baby also na sa voter no bitimi adu
say
there are other places
your commodities bi wo ho a target specific area bi a your large tract of land na nsuro ho a na ye no ho nko a
ene you of on the cost black voter
galamsey na
se see ya black voter it is almost say no but se see wo de ma issue ne mra be ka koye NPP NDC hwete sam yenya solution yenya gina brebia enti me de me say emre na so se oman yenyina yehunu se baabi a yaduro no nye baabi a ewo se nyoma bi wo ha ye de politics
okay me that say
na yenyina yenya ya say this is the direction ayeko eno ntina me na nka me expect constitutional review committee no report say omodi beshem tiane chi say yenya national development plan ento ho na meye enhye ema aban bia wo beba
okay
na ya memuo no nkoye political party manifesto government
me that say doc I mean ko say so said ye kan solution ni nyina ne say ibitimi aye no irrigation system na yaye eduan kese je ne dia aye kan obese kwa friend say asante asma gogo a o say afram no e ba ho nti ibetimi edua je ne ho pa ibetimi edua to si bi osirim pa John Dumelo deputy agriculture minister say acha by next year there you be self sufficient in tomato production no dey all be donwere ba ebingo you see say yes abey ne ye keke bia de achiche ye ho re ye wo political will no to do some of these things.
Yes, your political will.
Okay, 750 million to import.
Yes.
This a year.
Yes.
See,
yes.
The amount to so any processing.
Yeah,
raw media. Can we yanka?
Okay. That's true. Number one, me invited Doc Emba a conversation demo. In fact, me started here me born about so crass and then I say was situating me pacho was situating conversation I'm say me inviting him. And I was
just trying to invite
you. I was Ubisano question me say Palugu multipurpose dam no. So no dey say answer them out. Say omo to me anye. One can say yan to me and you, Metro was almost to me and ye. But yet, had him say no. Did to me say MPP are buying and to me and ye, why buying to me and ye. No move by catch there is a must spend close to $12 million. I like Dr. Mahmoud Baumia or call Asempa FM. Emma a year Musista station. Emma Emia Obi. Ebisa large Dr. Mahmoud Baumia say project ben pa no why no northern region one they bet me do say hey MPP ba ye me large Dr. Mahmoud Baumia yet me aye or northern region o say ya yam Palugu multi-purpose dam what just see ni bo so ma ye and what tell him say so o to me anye ti that means say wa ban ni ba ye no e ba no sa dams ni ayi kwada men fam ba o kan say ewra ye ma me how akumsin me say akumsin the another one yes how akumsin o be catch yen say one village one dam say 200,000 cedis ni ayi no mo de mo no entumi nya one village one dam dag out eno mututu de ma o menam na no mututu de mo sai sika na mo de ko hyem no amfa fa so bi ambre o man no ena me pese meka $11 million no so amfa fa so bi ambre o man no and ye ba ye no you Ramahama. In fact, I'll probably buy at least. Maybe I can say 1 year. We did 1 year. Finish the following year. You say John Dramani Mahama. A Greek, a one akuma so a Greek minister so born home modino. You bet me a buana and near my importing no because I never when I see importing and I cover a smart tissue and then cook kitty kitty buy a bet my titty a year importation so kakra because now every year you so close to $400 million and the imported port by nearby no ye den ko ketenkete a doctor kra minim so agibi dia me ma gibi am ye bi minimum people for me na for be na gibi o mo ye nko ketenkete
so ogibi koma no
oh doc minim so apply dia onya bi die ono edu so bi ono beti but me apply bi me na for MPP communicators am no buy be na nya bi o mo ye nkakra into where your policies are buying the bar eboa ema saa enema na import bebebe no esote ti minim say going forward no NDC aban yero John Dramani mama irrigation issues nyina no ye be try your best say ye betima na aboa eyekwaifo no se ne be ya saa o hawe nyina emba again o say aban one committee constitutional review committee nanka o say constitutional review committee for no edi shemu say e wo say nya national development plan in fact e bia wonim o share Yera Mills or set up committee because of fa bibi sambra and almost started ya na NDC aban ye free abamu MPP ba ye no o man to aso enti Yera Mahama sa ba ye nyina te hanum say we constitute 37 members I even hear article 10 of your 1992 constitution also bibia sa anim no e say John Dramani Mahama kwan say obetima constitute members are omo be develop omo de plans ebeba for ye dachi it so hwe ya yenya national economic dialogue so o kai say no ye invite people for mo so mo ma me wo ayibia Yera Adongo say ye mo invite people for mo mbra Ghana economy say netie mo mbra ne entrance ne entoto adwene hu kwan ye be for Ghana economy yi mo say mo ma na mumba ene dia wo national development plan na ndia obeba bia na what I say enti minim say John Dramani Mahama aban in fact o mamba no kra na economy no yetena say set up committee no mo hwehwe mu ye niam na economy no enema esisan kakra enti yenim say going forward no Yera John Dramani Mahama eni in fact dated 20th May 2025 President Mahama inaugurated 37 member national development planning commission enti eno so no enti bia constitutional review committee anka de Yera John Dramani Mahama wa
enti said the domelo kano or say a start irrigation schemes are afin kwawie no
yes
Ghana importation of raw tomatoes no
fantastic
oh yeah sure
on say oh
sadi we
maminka asem chiro maminka asem chiro John Dramani Mahama ono ontin to so nsan fa na no nye dem fa ono okaso be ye ade a oye ni ahwe oye ma nyina so yehu enti tomatoes asem a wokan ye be ye me se ye be ye wo de e de ba betena nim sei me betena de be mia ne se dog mbo ya baso se ye ka se be ni aye so what they say but this aban ye be ye amana boa eye Ghana fo nyina nti eye tomato sellers no so omo kokwa no so no te se de mekan me sere omo nya abotre kakra so going forward na aban de na megu akwa mu na menua no so no me encourage mu nyina say mu nyina mu go into eye tomato eye farming mu mi ankasa me no ka say okwantwuma mpo no a me ye farm ho no ye okoko fo nyina akra o me am say to me say koku nti angle bia o de be fa bia portrait kra so me say bi nti be bia o de be fa bia no e betumi so aye den aka ho asem e de akyerew
right
nti minim say going forward ni be fine
say okase bia e beti so na tomato importation bia ba yate so bia be 30-40% as in some circles no bi no report no na that will I will accept but I say betimi achieve self sufficiency from now to 2027
on say na wojide wo ebede on say na wo kasara wojide wo mu say Ghana ye won sase what you say o me hu Ghana problem nti say etimi solve problem ni nyina de enti na yentimi nya
so we should go into large scale production of fresh tomatoes
fantastic
ye hwe de be ko ye nim na asa ye koso we mu ni agya start mo ase o ye mo enche ye mo ye nkra mo bio
ba say
ajego
of I unim say this for do mo champion before
men ka say no say wo do ayento
oh in fact sentina on hintina ma I was saying betina ha offer
say me bo
offer
say so share Ghana made in Ghana rice on 5 kilos ah ne board nche ne yakraba no
offer oni bibi tis anything na ma yin betina ha e wo say the party bi to nchen na ye free Ghana for so mu nyina no omo patronize made in Ghana what goods any ade be boy by betina na MPP NDC minim kra de health minister ope parliament Obi odo mo pa.
Yeah, I know. Kando
spectral rice.
Yeah.
Spectral rice. Ghana need the
mechanized rice cultivation.
Yes. Kando the.
But ne mo ne say yento because the yakra ba na fo.
In fact, mama kan okrencho. Watete so ama. Wo de aha mitimi na advert mo bia because watete so ama.
Right. I was here for Adwenkyere media and now here on Kessben television. So my yehwen kra amanfo nkra talk akra ma na fi move on to cocoa and semino. Randy Abe and the cocoa bon penufo say 20% cut in salary of management and that 10% salary cut senior staff. Say penufo ede dwuma na no obi akachi to so 20%. Na omo ma ye dwuma na be yemu penufo senior staff nso no ya ti obi a 10% no. Bosumi bia no be save 5 million Ghana cedis. 5 million Ghana cedis. Inti implement this ameshe for 1 year. Ibenya 60 million in savings. O market to answer at so 10 20 no. The akana nyeke to asa. Right, every message is a cranium to us. So Benjamin Fancy say well, everybody knows the cocoa price has been reduced drastically in the world market. But people are insisting that they don't know. Let's stop the propaganda and give time some time. Hopefully it will rise again. That's what we don't expect. Okay. Mahama is a lie. He doesn't have cocoa farm, but have glasses site at Wasa Japa from Kofi Appiah. Hey, also akwaji asase wo 50 acres of cocoa farm. Hello, we farmers, when are we receiving money from Cocoa Board? Farmers are in pains. Okay, one for within so anka amba. From Asante the offer no kre nyakopa magana ne nyina bi nimdia hodo na nso leaders de aboyen. Nti se nyakopon se omaya akandifo papa na NDC ni MPP fo we nom de nka soja ban eyesne pebre. Good evening, offer. I'm Samuel Asensuri watching you live from Libreville, Gabon. In fact, my question is, why do the Ghanaian women travel all the way to Burkina for ordinary tomatoes, while tomatoes get rotten at Akumada and its environment? My suggestion is that the Ghana government should ban, I think that's what you want to say, ban Ghanaian women to go to such area to avoid further incidents like that. Samuel, Ghana to you know, just say what to that it is you. Burkina de no edding nti itibi da hoche tinami busa say sa variety Ghana yentimi nkrebi and I say Crop Research Institute for omuntimi nya sa variety we ya so here to see Ghana de no de dua na komada ne ha na emre pa kane yeso bogan to se ne say ya na netie bogan to se ba ho de ne say ya it is a sa variety we ne pen ha yedua bi se si ai de ye hade no ye kote atkomada tomatoes near the go adakemu efri akomada be kumase o kira no pa ne ya ntwa enu ya wada na pro ba Burkina de I want to be travel 3-4 days eba beduru ana enye hwe nti no ane say be ya adwen say no bi na eche it be dua no bi a we can have it so. Please, good evening. God bless you so much for working hard to serve Mother Ghana. The incident involving the killing of our beloveds is painful and very sad. But Ghana is high time we got our own dams to grow tomatoes. In light of this, we are appealing to His Excellency President Mahama to help us. May their souls rest in peace. Good evening, offer. This NDC guy talk too much, but no wonder he's now getting everything free of charge. You should go to various markets and see if their inflation reflects in individual pockets. Oheneba Senate is district Kajiji and all the way free a buyer. Over please. Buffer stock buy perishable goods for SHS. The Ubus I don't know. I say Kessben TV, I'm asking question if Cocoa Board CEO reduce his salary close to 90,000 and staff, it cannot affect the cocoa farmers anyway. Better to reduce the MSDC's Cocoa Board, and the president himself should reduce his salary and add it to the cocoa farmers 3,600 plus. Good enough. In fact, I like the way the MPP communicator is doing his analysis. When COVID came, the NDC and their propaganda said there's nothing doing with Ghanaian economy. Now, what has changed? If cocoa price has reduced from the international market, it is now affect cocoa farmers. Shame on to the NDC. God will expose them one by one. My greetings to Dr. Baumiase Ike inside a table and so dear no. Good evening, host. Tell the NDC man that he should give us a break of his rehearsed presentation. He should follow a line of presentation of the learned Dr. Bechan Yao Hima Ekrum and on the free buyer. Good evening, Mr. Host. NDC is useless, illiterate propaganda party. Masa. Oh, please. Good evening. The president should sack Randy Abe because he doesn't know anything about cocoa. Good evening, Offer. Tell this man to tell Mahama to talk to his friend, the Burkina president, over what has happened. Josh from Hebron. Captain Adama Tuaro no nim ho terrorists no on ko munya na ban a umutunagu uno penetu no. Great discussion this evening. So what is in that Burkina Faso tomato that Ghana cannot produce some? We have a better fertile land at Burkina Faso, which is largely a desert area. What is really wrong with us as a country? My condolences to all the families and friends of the victims. Master Planner Junior, policy analyst from Kintampo. Doctor, God bless you so much. You have shown maturity on the program tonight. The NDC could not do the Pualugu Dam. The NDC should do it because that is why they are in government. Kwame from Takwa. Okay. Over. Tell my church member, MPP man, to stop this propaganda because it's 137, 137 parliament. But they use their number to pay the e-levy, betting tax, etc., etc. Kobe from Asin Praso. Good evening. Tell NDC man to stop Wayo. Okay, for Subichim. What's the meaning of Wayo? Okay. Good evening, Mr. Host. Kumi Mensa from Wenchi Akrubi. Please tell the NDC man we are not in campaign time. Or campaign in episode 3. Right in campaign. No. How many concrete have they given out? Where is the 24-hour economy? Please give us a break. Please stop the old wine in a new bottle is the same. The outro, I don't know. Okay. I mean, kind me nubi nafi yemra emetwaso. Of a good win for your good work. If you look at the reduction of the cocoa price by President Mahama, I must say that he has disappointed us. They promised us that they will increase the price to 6,500 in opposition. They are now in government. They couldn't fulfill their promise, and they have reduced the old price. For the reason why our local agricultural farmers are crying is because NDC government imported more maize, more rice, even kontomire they imported it. That is why the maize farmers are crying that they are not getting buyers. It's not a killing of tomato sellers at Burkina. Like we will not hear President Mahama that he is going to help the tomato farmers in Ghana. Teacher Eric, we are here, Sika, Manso Atresovakuvi. Formerly, Ghanaian farmers were planting tomatoes in large scale around our water bodies. But now, all the land is destroyed day in, day out by galamsees. That is why our women are traveling far away for tomatoes. That is perfectly true. Coconut has outlived its usefulness. It should be scrapped. OPK, Akrokre, Ingu Cocoa Ball Kra. Sir. Mr. Host, thanks be to your panel. NDC is a problem because they always pick content on somebody's speech instead of taking substance in the matter. They should stop that. Secondly, Ghana's revolution failed because we couldn't achieve anything from WOFA, Chia, Asin, and No, and all the way a free a buyer. Offer, please good John DeMello think he is on stage at the theater or shooting a movie. What are the measures he and his government has put in place to solve this tomato issue that has led to the death of these innocent souls? May God Almighty save Ghana. Homo sapien prophet for mem or also dear ya or the ebaye, I don't know. Good evening, Mr. Host. The Pualugu Dam, if it is so easy to do, President man could have done it in 1980s when he gave about 600 million cedis to a Ghanaian minister to the north to do it. John A. Ade, Abidjan Kwanta. John, TNT your own. Randy Abe reducing his salary and his staff is not the solution to the problem because he doesn't know cocoa. Even football, he couldn't manage if he needs to go indefinite suspension. Pachibe Jacobu, Greetings, SK Kobi Takwa. Right. My friends here, near to us, so Adwenkyere dwumadi na hwe Kessben television so sabre so hwe omre a non kron abo apawonsima aduonu ensia. Hussein, I'm sure say fro so. Koko nsem ekuafo se de aban eka bia omde omonte. Aye megdofo ada me. Man pene se me kura koko no me obi o. Me so bi aka me unya abotre. Koko bo for se atimusun ya tetete aketua so. Na anye bi kra be save 5 million cedis a month. Na we have figures na Cocoa board senior staff and management members no mo do so pa. Nti sa entity so ya be o me save 5 million a month. Afenon so no na be 60 million cedis. By that 20%, 10% slash in salary no you save. Ade na waka fa de abe ho. Sa kuafo ngu so e ka se ade bo ho a e wo se aban save sesa busia kra na akoped bi save situation na yemfa save Cocoa board sika yetete aketu esu yi ibetim dia ye bibi akuhia akuafo no ada ye ne den
osade ya mame I think say Cocoa assembly dia can be brain na this week na last week na be see this week but on say work say Cocoa akuafo no in fact enyo mu nyina ebi mu enyanti ase ebi mu enyanya nchechire mu ni yi na DTNE on say and then me set me kan wa hanum say DNT won say MPP won say yewra Marcus Aboaje odikan okukuku fuomu okoye mam no mudo kuku ye papa no mudo kuku ho ni nyina nya de bia in fact ono ankasa atena say share communicators bia ka kire mo say de be boa ne say yenko kuku fo no ho ni yenko kan sem bi enkyere omo ensem e be kan no ewo mu enim kura na ombeje di enti number 1 me papa baako o Eastern region o say miracles abeka kire omo say eye yewura randiabe no watch I bonunsa o de Cocoa board ska kwakoto watch eye $40 ofase wo hu bi onua FM for kra MPP communicator baako after meeting no communicator baako nso kotena onua FM ekoka same say yewura randiabe de Cocoa board ska no akwakoto watch $40 offer $40 esen ebedu 500 cedis impo offer yewura randiabe wa ye adwuma over 30 years in 20 nya 500 cedis enfanto watch that's entro number 1 papa ne say o ka kire omo na no ahu say no because no nim say omo ba aba be su aboa omo se na ben na aban ne beti aya ma omo but omo ba ye no wo hu ni say nsem omo ka ni nyina no enya ade a omo ka ede apɛ aban na nim animonyam ana say omo de pɛ eye say aban ne be ya ade ama akuafo no wo hu so say yewura eye miracles na asa nam say yewura randiabe wo di Cocoa board ska kwa renovate ni fie a offer adenti na sebin pedua se mo communication akoye akodu baby sei communication akodu baby sei na wo TV so panyini te se wo na wo sebin pedua se na wo ka sema ennimu na wo twa ntro e de ato e around abe so because enne de Cocoa board asema ba enti ne de wo se wo ye no ho adwuma yie na wo twa ntro de to no so entakuafo ne de in fact bebre na nkasa wo se MPP fo no entro ne dada e no mo nam enkurase ho no mo mudi ofa me dey no say to nchen no me makuani bia hu say uhu MPP ni okoko ase a treat ni say wo ye enemy e ma wo yes MPP ni bia obekoko ase bia no uhu na wo ye kuani a treat ni say wo ye wo enemy ofa ohawa ye kwemu nyina no genesis of nema we nyina na efirifa efiri MPP ho no eneba MPP omuko elections yewura kwabna Japan obetna mu sister station say yewura eye Edu former Cocoa board CEO MPP ni o a person be president o se wo Cocoa board the last 6 years ne kan kwa na obudigu honum enfa so be na de ama Cocoa board the Cocoa board collapse of a one tis asem no MPP ni ne ka asem no again prior to 2024 elections yewura Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ye media engagement journalists be bisa ne say Cocoa board yes Cocoa board ye den egu what does my like Bawumia kan also onu de on shada nim e one every year meanwhile no Ghana had him say every year we make projection of a camp cocoa board. Offer NDC for about 2016. Near positive equity of 1.8 billion. 1.8 billion cedis. Offer MPP for Abamu negative equity of 3.89 billion. And Omujademayan. Cocoa board on Kwaka Mubogu 32 billion. Oma Maya Japadie Bia. Offer. Obetis MPP ni beka chiro say adenti na wan kwan kope bosia o baabi wan kope sika o baabi na wan fan beboa ankushi akuafo no ofa yewra kofo do ka chiro say oba be protect public person meboa public person ofa eto eboto kroto enfa na kofa sika na free e de ba be kushi akuafo no ba yewra mahama ba ye 2016 ye free aba mu no ye jambi e fe stabilization funds ofa sana kan $300 million give ye mamu $270 million offer sika edija omu COVID-19 bae na we chese ramahama enyansabo akwa ye ka so bi enyansabo akwa na chese ohu ochena sem na start aso anu enne onim sa ntoro nchem bibia betimi ato oman Ghana ti se eye koko die ya bai enti ramahama ni se bibia to ye no eno set up eye foto bi de to wonum se bi to oman Ghana yenko iska ni nefa nkokushin ena COVID bae no eho ene ewra mahama na kire mo se oh me pesika bi se de to ha nim sei enti mo ko fesika na mo fa bekushin na mo fa solve COVID ena mo ko na mo ko pem 1 billion efiri mu ena mo start some de yede mo de solve COVID mo frɛ ba mu yi sika ben ena mo gya no ho no ma we ya ba be hitiye mo betimi de mo sa kire so say koko body issues yi endi saban mo ko ha na mo ko iska we fa be solve we na kire say wa ban ya odwene daache adwene Ghana fo ho ene wa ban ya onwene daache enwene Ghana fo ho ofa koko kuaifo no ene na MPP for creating impression ne say eye Ghana nkoa ade ya koko no Cote d'Ivoire for price no o ma maintain no price no 3600 and when release be buy release na buy no crash say MPP for say bi mpeduasa omu I don't know obi aya na omu chiro bibi a o kan na o edit de ma omu unim say na date ni so on release a buy date ni so da of on mi da ya ye press release ye release aba na date ni so mu ye kwafo na hu we nyina o release a date ni so enya wanwa alaji bo mi akra so mo ko kan Psalm 23 verse 182 de ma no MPP for ko kan de ma no e ma man sent mi kura nkan ya humu say mistake nie enti so mo chiro bibia de security kwafo no say nete a mu hu ni say MPP for ye mo enemy offer asema okay MPP for so sell you rock for the time international market price no cocoa no eso te kakra offer so this argument no offer 2022 eso te $40 per and eso te me wo chat ni nyina wa hanim say eso te only $40 per nti say mete say MPP ni bi ani abre no o ka say you rock for the buy no eso te no oboa ye ya offer 2022 na $2,390 2023 equal $3,280 no me starting free baby asote ye no me ko 2019 $2,340 2019 you international market price no and about 2020 and about 2,370 meaning say kakra be ka ho 2021 and equal 2,430 this all share ya between we say no between 80 and 90 no saying only $40 per and so free so na $40 no you exchange rate then na saying then if I say 10 cities crampona and 400 cities and the 400 na ne a free 9,000 aba 4,200 and then me check your crampona 3,400 and something now the catch say we should maintain it just because mu dey $40 no ma maintain no o ka say akwani no to wonum kura na o tie de wo ka na no abeka say be mpeduasa wo nim de wo ka
all right that's it
eto fa ba no koko boda MPP for mu ka manuntumu kwafo no nim de ekoso Cote d'Ivoire kwa na kwa ene Cote d'Ivoire edan ye say kura mu han dan ya mu twi koko ogumu omu de gudan ba kuma kura ma na ye ma obi am beto because world market price ne so tie no ende rito mi hu news international o ba mi ati say Cote d'Ivoire for hu kire omo me no ka say madam for once me catch us Cote d'Ivoire me na for Cote d'Ivoire omo so omo kra mo twen say yewra mahama 2,500 plus yi se ba na se ye adwuma omukra de be ba Ghana an se abeton no Ghana ha
okay but that's
na ofa woni bibi ofa me de manu sikura me de manu sikura
ba so bi o
ofa me de manu sikura no me ka me before ti ase say cocoa price no sa ntro no mu di se Cote d'Ivoire for sa na tie no enya sa na tie and the reality na expose you mo ko social media ko hwe and the MPP for no timi kan ho hwe na me say forensic audit here ba be ko so yi Yura John Draman, maybe I blame my government. They be American.
But I say,
but
I say, Doc, I'm you.
Of another now,
why did now flow? I'm you.
Media sana me my dear, me mawo kasa me mem. Nti I don't expect you say.
Okay, but me tell you, it's ability.
Of me person me TB free. Or can be about Palugu or Kobo, maybe how Kumsen, we bossy.
What village you are dam? Yeah.
What about them 1 year? So, war in your Nasubi say, any pan with this calf and a cocotte. And Metna TV soon any penny massy. And you been at Tony General.
I always want to go with this guy. No, say,
of a one Tiana, or say,
you say, Dr. Cadio, be an man.
Or say, or more you sue $11 million.
I like you, Bomiana Kanye.
And then you poor Lugu,
Mammy, Nessica, allocate ma, maybe how a Kumsin or the Kutu Amana.
How a Kumsin as canon,
the MMT, you know, on say, or say 200,000, or to 2 amanakeke, and na emunsu no every year.
It means near also this can and one fine.
No, they are not how I come say. They are not how I come say. They are not how I come say. Sikano wasn't enough to prepare actual dam. Until air dug out. You know,
and what you could no say Dr. Baumia say or more you see $11 million ewo Palugu.
No say no. Baumia
me try no how
Baumia de no.
Of a me try
an interview no see a dam no.
The ono kan na make count.
Okay.
Enti me say ye dina men kasa wo ka ofa ka kire no. These are so no.
He say memem. Oza kasa wo ye din. Do obi bia na watro. So watro me ba so then you react to it. So obi bia me busa no, but don't interject. Yeah, Dr. Mamintio.
Enti I am still telling him say we feel say will be or not buying our power. You did propaganda in opposition. What's about part what about power 1 year ni? Any pana wo boni dinu wedwane. Faniko court. Emetna TV so make kasa ansem no. Now let's go to Cocoa Board. Offer. Here in 2024 NDC AUSU emotional manipulation. Inse Emma e could do omo kan sema ntinipa wo ho anmo a na akoyese wona wo ye nipa boni ni Dr. Atuforsen a wo ye Minister of Finance eko gina kokko akuafo anim ka kire wo mo se NPP fo mu sika na e wo se to kokko 6500 eno no wo bi amfetu ansini so Minister of Agric says one of your sister stations, my journalist Bibus, and I say 6,500 for no crowd, so also I'm the call 9,000. Of I say no, you am fair to and see what so. What was share queer for where we need power 1 year down the line, you Susan October, and at the Bia, ya announce a price. Last year, I'm preparing to August. Now, more announce a price. More announce a price. No, near Tibia, so Queenie Bia of any Adoko. Say, Cassie about to cocoa mundia, and then will be a medebecking. Price ne koya, you see, so won't take cocoa business Nasia. The old Odo cocoa price. Etimi kosura there was a day in 2025 etimi rise here through $13,000.
Yeah.
And I started set on said the bianso cocoa farmers no they are short of guarantee price into nya to
ebo price ne dia gise season na ba wieye enti se season ni ba wieye na cocoa price ne kura kɔ form a the only thing I bet me an so be maintain price ne yente so se yetum along the way a ye ma cocoa farmers ne dia bonus ye ma cocoa farmers bonus why ye nhwe han ama price no from 12,000 na etiba cocoa no so wato instead of so be kwa akoton no why ye nhwe han atena ho no mo ama natia abeduru 3,000 afa na wo be ka se ya teso na bra na ye teso ba no ade enti na wanton de na wato no sana afi bia cocoa ye no because we international marketer e fluctuate and the price ne kosora e also making good business out of it but onum say besa akosoro nti no wo hode e na aba otri so e na sese wuntimi hunu ne awo mfanye now offer ade ba ko esa ha cocoa board sese on say former PRO the communication director of cocoa board abeka up to date omuntimi dispute here. The structure we say president ba or appointee CEO. Na CEO no so cocoa marketing board your friend CMB. No CEO no so appointee obi. Ed na ko hye the director general. Nti ono na be advice CEO. No mo mienu enu nti na ye beans a ye toy as omaye ntimi antom. Die enipa ran dia bi according to Fifi Boafo. Enipa randia bibuo ni din de ne kotena ho no ote office ho e na brantie ba ko say your friend One Thompson and so de letter e ba say President Mahama appoint no say o me take over as director of cocoa marketing board CMB enti say sa enipa no Dr. Randy Abi ene papa na ote on no o mani nhia
we allegation
no entina mama enipa wo kan ye no up to date what is wo ma beka say nya no kore entina me bo fifi boafo din no me say according to fifi boafo man ka say free me trimo and up to date they have not come out to dispute it of as what I say now mo ba aben mu 1 year ni offer ebra cocoa price ne call 12,000, 10,000, 8,000. Uti ni wo baby send this ni bi ko kan se omo ba omo beto ka. Of outi ni wo baby. Matna ho no mo aboka wie. Price a e o se mo ton na mo di nya sika na mo anya. Then afi o sa be ka se mo ba e mo beto ka ho. Mo na mo wa bam so feel say obi and I still want to reiterate this point. Say what feel say cocoa board omo share so the last 8 years and na mo decision bi aban na aboka oman no aboka fa omo fa mra kwan so enkogina won kaka enkoka se ka ho ntia kuafo sika ene ye kote wan ka se ofa wo be Ghana hanom da ben na wotese yati cocoa so da bia cocoa price fluctuate da ben na watese aban bi aba a wati cocoa price so I stand to be corrected. Minyini bebre. But oma ye hu afi ben ena cocoa price ye tiso. Cocoa akuafo bra ebre ene yen yesusu anova. Ube cocoa gu abuamu a. Oti cocoa a osresre ne akoba ama. Eduru ne soaso a opem rantie na wonim baabi a obi ada.
Ze watra
yes, ahomachi ni abenya ni nyane mo na mo de kenten na makoso ebi won so aboto na makoso a enei saa de ni nyina ni ho ubo ukoko a yiso ope agbobo ya ana tidi ka ni bi na wa hai ni abubu seat na gum na de akọ ni aso ade abegum abopa ni aso ade abegum ansa na ade abafie na wo hwe kokoko ani anim na from 3,600 ultimate so ema ne ba 3,500 na utimi sa betna ha ehwe kokoko akuafo no nim hwe kamram e ka kire wo mo se omote ase no mo ye okay na Dennis Miracle Aboaje ene ko ka kire wo mo se eboa no mo nje na CEO akoto watch say ni say it means that you one kasa by inference o pa kire se kokoo akuafo no omo nkasa ni munyansa gi se miracles ene ko ka kire wo mo ansa empanimfo a omo ye kokoo fuo no omo tiewu na omo hyew wakwa gina simpie so atimia aka kire wo mo se wo beto kokoo 6005 1 year down the line wahwe nyame ani mati kokoo price ne so aba 2500 wase nya akukuduru abetene TV so ka kire kuafo no se omo tiase na emo miracle ne nam enkura na se. These were his statement enkura na se ka kire wo mo se ni se it means sebi kokoo kuafo mu ntimi nwene ma wo mo ho na se we nya bibia ma wase a ye nyai monokro no wako gina simpie so ahye nipa no bo 6005 we ntimi anye wasa ahwe na anim akote ye kowie kira ye se CEO se over afede omo salary ye bete so 20% of out ye obede no hu se yate ni salary so 20% se bosome
se controller na wetu omoga
me se wo
oh me dey say me to me
Antigana for be dey na
to right to information act no metimi de krata akosa mpese me hunu se controller bosome so ye no watete so ana. That's the only thing I can do.
Yes, I mean. You see, no, you see, Okasa me.
No, not on screen.
No, he's giggling.
No, he's not on screen. So
no, it is not right. Tell him.
No, please don't flow. You flow. He's not on screen. Don't look at what he's doing.
No. I will look at it because it's a sign of disrespect.
He's not on screen.
No,
he's not on screen.
But he's distracting what I'm saying.
Okay.
If I tell him because Anyesa. Program. He's being disrespectful.
If he's because he's not on screen. He's not on screen. To just let flow. About for everyone. Discourse away to just focus and flow.
Now for my
man see mame.
She say utimi eba bem 1 year. Now utimi kan wanu tum. Eye din okoko board because prices na kosoro na wan ton cocoa beans na wotena wa manete eba fom ebedu 3000 na afi de wahunu say cocoa price na wo boka then wo sa begina bontin say wo deceive nko say afi de international market wo do cocoa kwa omo say Ghana cocoa board ni. At the time I need 8,000. So toya ko mo beto. And they about 3,000. I feel now person or the kwaji more than that. Who will do that? Entinye Ghana cocoa born aye dene. And I cocoa na ne boye dene. Those in the helm of affairs, cocoa business nankasa omo nti ase. Enunti na beans omo toy omo timi di hwe nyame ani man ni si wa. E ma price ne te ba fom no. Enti se wa boka. Now went me as a result of incompetence went me and manage cocoa sector within 1 year. Now I share my price number 3,000 and Kohe nim and Kokasa oh tini cocoa so from 3,600 about 2,500.
All right.
I was bra offer mass praying. Time my power.
First me
power. Na ye announcement information center ebia mo nyina mu kokoo wo santase ene ye ba ha be spray so obi ansensuo ensini kokoo ofa ene 1 year NDC ba power wo de all pass nka wo bi o phone line na kokoo growing areas farmers efra within the last 1 year sadie ni nyina enkoso
okay
na ayehwe ha tini kokoo so se sika na so ene so de bi to apropro odi bi to diditi no odi guso owia wabopa se yenkotwa nkrampan na wotimi tini sika so sei wia no anya akukuduru de phone to abetra TV so sei kokoo akuafo no de omobodwo so na emu miracles ene ekoshe akire ekokeka sanse machirom jese kokoo akuafo do mu ntimi nwene ma o
okay be say balam yenhwe cocoa board adwuma na mu so hwe adwuma mu ye ya Kawase Ghana cocoa board ebi a Ghana buy crop obose a community nya bi ma buy because cocoa board ye dwuma afibia no se Ghana by a dollar ho kwa atwe a na ye twen syndicated loan itimi koje 1.2 1.5 2 billion 1.8 billion sa dollar no ba pe we are buying mu penny a Bank of Ghana governor finance minister no go ahopoko because unim say sa dollar na be hwim no de month bia ubenya dollar kakra e den e release but cocoa board over the years omu ye adwuma omu nya mfaso there are some 1 2 3 years pebi and abala yehe from 2014 yehe infograph no from 2014 cocoa board adwuma omo eye no on say every 2008 2009 eba no Ghana ekoko sem no ekosoro ema afi de yekoya kudu 1 million metric tons okra eti after 22 of oba no enya faso we infograph here wo screen so no a 2014 cocoa board made profit baby ye blue no faso afia cocoa board nya faso no ene blue no we 2014 enya faso kakra ya che say na eso ani ena 2015 faso no so teye almost half of it was wiped off by 2015 na cocoa board asase eboka 2016 yeboka 2017 omboka 2018 2019 2020 2021 na just afi de omoka no ano no ayeshipa but 2022 2023 crop season we have so a cocoa board nyae afi de unprecedented omunya adwuma ma afi e kasa afi we de cocoa board of enya mfaso pa because from that time on na afi de cocoa board na ashase a epeja ya ma ene ye kase ebedu 2025 February mo hono na cocoa board no adabia ya na eda $2,000 to $3,000 no na edu $13,000 from 2022 2023 crop season no cocoa board made a huge amount of profit but intimia sustaining no ema afedie asan ajego we nyina ye diti America sasim we no ye wo major financial institutions cocoa board cocoa no mo ton but financial institution diti a ye de ko se finance minister aseno no if say bi ekoso cocoa board we are no is kasam so we nim world financial market near the cocoa board so say what they assemble bre Ghana if say raw material commodity eton ya ne bo no fluctuate ekosoro ba form they say the MPP ni NDC kan nyina no ade ba akon cocoa no ho a ne bo no kosoro ho a ne bo no ba form it is a wo financial analyst ana expert ana advisor of cocoa board a akoye setete no na ohini bi adi ade a wo sofo ne odifo ohini ne koye bibi a odifo na ka kye se menkokon wo se menko ekon no we de okwa na obedi nkuguo financial expert na wo cocoa board no wona wo kire cocoa board mpanimfo se me hear this trend analysis a afi we say na yenye no either say ebeye forward sale ana say ebeye spot sale ene na de ka ye kan nyina ade ase we nyina aba se wo ton cocoa na wo se cocoa no ne bo no ekosoro a kire wo ne ma mienu kire se daache no obetimi aton anya bo kese it is our turn to see a bo kese ne ba onya bi but utra anye ye so na o kase me twen ya pebo kese na bo na o kakra da wanum no wa anwe no na so pekese a ni nyina etumi dwiri 2024 mene erajo se bo ayedu ba bia metie a menche he ya no te e na o kire mu se time o mo koton Ghana cocoa adwaman so no na cocoa no bo no eni soro omokoton ye se cocoa no ye nten koyen kwa ne akoka akira aborofo no se afi ye de 800,000 metric tons na beba nti ubeto sen we se meto 50,000 20 ne ajeji coupons ni nyina nti ye te ne de komo yakoko jiji ni nyina awie nti cocoa bo no pagya ye no ntimi se akoka akira buruni ni se yatum nteme mfa ma wo sa abo no a mede ma wo no nti asa 2024 na afi ne kwa wie no na Ghana boka because na bo na pagya how they compare bona ye koye for sale na ye nya so mfa so di ono kan ne se nyame boa ne si 2025 mu na se cocoa bo no da so wo soro ho saa pa de a ena akuafo beti de Enti say yesa koye forward sale ni biwa. It means say nka saa abo no na edru 2024 ending no ke benya saa abo no. Enti wo ye financial analyst a ubusa ho say okay. Ebo na pagya bro $10,000. Me go to me ko ni nyina in advance. And I mean train never sign akosuru bio. Ntie die pa. So wo train na sa akosuru bio wa benya mfaso. But say $10,000 na edu no wo anye. Na wo train say me twa am na akoso na edwiri a wa boka. That is where the whole problem came. Then people buy for sale. For sale no mo ye de bebre no. Na edu ba bi ebo no course no. Na wo san ke yatum. And then NDC koka say sabri ke say mutua 6,500. But na ye for sale awie. It won't mean to sa ade no. It ye to so ye for sale no the following years ah. Nyenya sa aboda dan dia we should be able to pay. But about when so buy no so say there be. Ade no bo no gu so ye den. Cause why don't we wait? The cost will become hoa. Yet Marco no at the spot. Nienya sika ede emudu. Edu say ye kwa kotono na ebo na ede edwiri. Inti de na we expect say ubenya saa abo kese na fedie saa abo no nyeden eni hobio. To your financial risk obi a talk commodity bi as gold, cocoa raw materials and so hunu. It is advisors na nkyerɛ time na wo mu ni ya. Eju ade bia financial market no. Akwai say elastic no. Etwimo a kudu na limit. Na fe de enyedan enkobio. De wo na say ohunu say ba bia adrei de. Because wo share market share marketer. Ade wo an share price it me rise ya. So what to say sir, wo pa no aton wa usika. Because e dwudi pe wa boka. In this calculation no ebetimi a review anytime bia so wo twa paper so kase ne so te a waboka e na akoton ne na ne bo no kosoro nso a eno so so aye ne wanya ebo kase na eba ne bia ma wakuafo ndi de yen ya de ye no cocoa board ho no ti bi gidi se e wo sa ban pe animdifo a o metime ready international market ni ye e de o mo ka Dr. Randy Abehu na o mo tumi hunu se in the history of bia cocoa no entire cost through peace anti anytime be ebe cost kese yen take advantage of the market yen ye cocoa ni na for sale say be ya eson tie na ye ho nyede enchire this is how we should manage our things the enya simple mathematics say me de me ma ko na ebo so te you can see say be so bete no aton ntem wanya osika e de unu say ebe kosoro so me ntwe kakra de otu chacha na say say anwumre yi adansi north here Cocoa attractive phone be wakoto cocoa bag be 200 bags 200 na dey go na onim say ye betu cocoa dike ye tumu a no ato anya mfaso ana ono akoto na kuafo no de omo de ko cocoa shed na cocoa crutches eni sika no wakoto 200 bags 3,600 dey dey e da be go abaye so ate so about 2,500 ndik bag ba ko bia no waboka 1,001 Into was so question wa konfo. Into wo financial risks I would take in. And I do have a bedroom baby our drinking. These are some of the things that we should know. Now, but before that's our key sectors no. Ya me kai say Dr. Samjo da bra no Anglo Gold. Sabre no na gold bo no ba fom pa. E na Ghana e kwye hedging. Ya ne amai na omoto gold no kwye apam so gold no bo no sorted don tie na mo hedging ni chese o ka chi nipa say Besoko me japade no oton at this first price se cost ba for mo say na beto no na ye ko hedge gold no ye hedge wi enu be 3 months kra na gold bo no shase e cost so na rollers you say there ya be me say bi o ya ko hedge no so what is that nonsense because Rollins didn't know say hedging no o ya utimi boka utimi gain o ko hedge na de no bo so te a wa gain because e bo na wo de akoma no sa na npakro no beto no by bonus so cost so a so aboka unso nya the new market price ni bi we a financial market near ma o say penifo e dey say aduma critical area to say cocoa board na ade show monsa no they should know some of these things so that obehunu the times are wom no say at this time no e was say me year forward sale na ade na pagya na de me gisa abo na se bia me twen say e be say akoso bi no makoton no sport say ne aton ye cocoa nyina wi a ka ya catch us be a bit ya bete 600 metric tons ya kwaji hu nyina ska wi aba kabroni no opo Tabuo na yɛde kɔma no na obɛgye we so de amfani nyina ankwa ankomo mo de aka eche na wode kosisi a no ɔse ate so don't mean turn o project so obɛgye ni one ukɔgye ni one ba so abrega na kwani a wo aboka so what do you do okay you even see okay who say in final word aka 2 minutes penny upon 1 minute penny
akuafo no say wa wode akobia no in fact price that na ye den ye de be ma wo
de wode akoda
na
benya old price no
obenya old price
ba wonya mfa nko kare
dia de gu apaso no sisi ano eno na oba nsakrai kakra be den ebeba mu ene euro ato forcing ene euro kopoku bibie no mu kogina ka se eba ebetum 6000 abra o manfa omo de betoto international market price ho anka ho 10 pp ni bia ya no miskoti sa again euro around the abe one obie ni ho my friend Thompson a omanya issues ho no my ntiama kokko body ye den run down sa o se obi say you know perception in same see crime me kan TV so nti of me to esi ameka say weekly esi euro akofo no mi wi obegye di eni kwase yes anema no what you say there are certain things we don't even chip it in say back conversation be say ya and was saying this ya anka say MPP free abam no mu boka see in fact after transition team na anka sa ko buy no and the ba so maboka 32 billion
okay
that's now I think say no wa so you must know that one okay. And again or see we are him say Ghana him say until that say yate koku boss da ba me so me catch say Ghana ha you won't say cocoa boss what to him say so that high sense.
But I say, Doc, we mommy.
Asem na wi ye ne say. Cocoa kuania ni cocoa bag. Ode okofa birthday for. Me kasa se kuani ba. Me an kasa se NDC crowd de meka 10,800. Oma Tommy Coco 3 bags omuntua.
Don't you? The old price.
Omuankasa yes, Oma Tommy Coco. And we so ni frame me omotes nam so nya ntobo ase. Onkra mo de meka. Coco akuafo a mudi NDC fu achi. E kan say ye beto Coco 6,500 Coco ka say 9,000. Na enei omo hwe manim atimu cocoa so from 3,600 to 2,500. Next time, send this ni begina weni mu afaya adisuade.
Okay.
And na wa begina he ka kire mo say mo pene so say wo mo ti cocoa so na emum eye miracles aboaje ene ne na mo nkro mu ne ka kire mo say mamo nte ase. It means by inference mo ankasa mo ntimi nwene mamo ho.
But I say,
right. Next time. So mo begina ho ka kire mu a muntu mu hofo
right abusiafo ha ne de enwumre adwumane se wote Dr. Enoch Champo a lecturer ke no esi Osaka Saba MPP and afi Hussein Ibrahim odon so ekasa e de ma regional minister NDC tikiti bi de Kofi Appiah bala we de wo ansemi ano e de ma onyame adro a ochanopa ene ehia ma chedwumade so na yento aso yakramo bye bye.